As the melodic waves of the salty brine crash against our small tugboat, a sinister evil lurks below. In the game Dredge, you play as a fisherman, exploring the islands around a city called Greater Marrow, hauling in your catch to pay for repairs on your rig. As night falls, though, evil powers and hallucinogenic effects take over the waters around the island with a thick fog. Monsters and creatures are within and are bent at killing our fishermen. Eventually, through the course of this game, he discovers someone known as the Collector on Blackstone Island, who explains that we will be rewarded if we help him find these hidden artifacts dredged at the bottom of the sea and return them to him. He also promises eldritch powers with this mysterious book always in his possession. As we gain more powers, avoiding sea monsters and catching evil fish aberrations, we discover a hidden story, a story found within lost bottles around the world. It's the story of a young couple celebrating their love and traveling these islands before they find something sinister. A casket with a book inside that condemns and plagues the carrier to be afflicted by an unholy abomination. We're going to get back to that hidden story soon, but this game eventually culminates into 2 to 3, depending how you look on it, main endings. The first one, where the fisherman finds all the artifacts for the Collector and throws them into the deep while a ritual is said in his book to bring back his wife, and instead, the elder god Cthulhu comes, destroying Greater Marrow and all of the island cities within. The second, more positive ending involves the old lighthouse keeper who recognizes the fisherman and tells him to find the old mare. We discover him marooned and half mad on a random island. The old man tells us a story about how he used to sail with the fisherman until one day they found an evil casket on the ocean depths. Inside there was a book that caused the death of nearly everyone on board except the fisherman. It was red due to the blood of the fisherman's wife. It's at this point that the mayor looks at our player characters and begs you to throw it back. This will lead you to confronting the Collector and perhaps the most dramatic sequence in the game. It is revealed that we were in fact the Collector all along, just talking to a mirror, and this gives us the courage to throw the book away into the briny deep, freeing the region from the fog and this evil, until eventually both us and the book are eaten by a massive monster known as the Leviathan. All pretty spooky on its face, but the hidden story behind how all of these disparate things connect is a very tragic one. It's the story of a fisherman and his wife slowly being pushed apart by his obsession with the sea. Eventually, they find a relic of the eldritch god Cthulhu, a book stained red with the blood of his wife following a massive explosion when they first discover it. Evil then begins to slowly seep into this world as towns around the area become deserted and aberrations begin to grow in the water. The fisherman, traumatized by this event and now having a dark entity within, develops a new obsession, figuring out the secrets of this book and possibly bringing his wife back to life. Evil grows and grows, and eventually it becomes a temptation too tantalizing. The need to complete these rituals found within the book and save his wife is the only thing he thinks about. But truly, that isn't the only thing he thinks about. He still remembers his life before, the obsession that led to this unfortunate demise, the sea and fishing. So the dark entity within the fisherman grants him a small freedom. He will forget the worst trauma of his life and be allowed to fish again, free of the burdens of what has happened. This split personality becomes so distinct that eventually this gives the dark entity within the fisherman a way to convince our character to release him by finding these artifacts. During this time, as we're playing the game, that Leviathan monster stalks the fisherman, making sure he doesn't leave the islands or becomes too overpowered by the book's powers. It's speculated that Cthulhu in fact tricked the fisherman into thinking that these artifacts belonged to his late wife, when really they were simply the keys to release the monster and doom the world. As for the good ending, it's helpful if you look at these entities as the Leviathan being the antithesis of Cthulhu, basically trying to stop this ancient evil from infecting the world as best they can. That's why in the good ending, he's sensing the dark presence in both the book and yourself, and then quickly and mercifully destroys both, thus saving the world. It could be speculated that many of the bottle messages found throughout the game warning the fisherman to get rid of the book are in fact from his dearly departed wife, perhaps a third personality within him trying to reach out, or that maybe her spirit could be embodied in the Leviathan itself. I think this is a more positive take on a truly, deeply tragic story, and ultimately, Dredge is a tragedy. It's a story of a fisherman's wife that was never really going to be resurrected from the dead, and a fisherman that was always damned, either to serve in Cthulhu's hell or to be sent down into the deeps to join his beloved wife. The real tragedy, though, folks, is if you let your nether regions look like the deformed fury snake mackerel in the game Dredge. Worry no more, Manscaped.com is here to help. Get the new Manscaped Performance Package to keep yourself clean and smooth with the Lawnmower 4.0, lotions, a travel bag, some really nice boxers. If you go to Manscaped.com right now and input code VGS at checkout, you will get 20% off everything with free delivery, and you can get rid of that eldritch stank on your underjank.